Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. So, I started filming this vlog and then I lost some of the footage, like the opening footage. So this vlog is going to basically be about me reading books that I bought for their stepbacks. So this time I thought I would do something a little bit different in that I picked 3 books that I bought for their stepbacks, and then I'm going to read the first chapter in each, and then that way I'm going to choose which one of those first chapters intrigues me the most, and then I'm going to read that for the rest of the vlog. So, the books that I have chosen to try a chapter of are Loretta Chase, Dukes Prefer Blondes. Look at this step back. That's perfection of a step back, isn't it? It is. And then I have this famously beautiful step back, Elizabeth Lowell Untamed. So pretty. Like, I mean, this is 1000% just art. It's just so gorgeous. And then the last one, this is one step back that I vividly remember hunting down because I fell in love with this, and it is Virginia Henley, The Marriage Prize. I feel like this is a pretty well-known one. Love it so much. So those are the 3 books that I chose to try a chapter of each. And the funny thing is that I believe these 2 are both in medieval settings. And this one I think is Victorian. So I feel like all 3 of these are pretty well-known stepbacks that we can kind of count on having them show up in the rotation on Stepback Saturday on Instagram. If you don't know what Stepback Saturday is, it is a hashtag created by Pink Calla Reads, where every Saturday, us wonderful historical romance-loving people post our beautiful stepbacks in Instagram posts, and then we have to guess the author and title. So, now I did end up saving, I had the footage for my reaction to the first chapter, so I'll put that in next, but my opening clip, I deleted accidentally because I do stupid things sometimes. So anyway, now I will have the footage of my reaction to each chapter, so I'm very excited about this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys like it. Okay, just read the first chapter of this. It was 12 pages, so fairly short. And this book was published in 1993. I am intrigued with this. Like, I'm interested in this. It's I don't know, like, I'm into it, kind of. Like, I would read this book. Totally. I think the writing style is a little flowery, and also, like, the way, so this is like a medieval type of setting. It said it's like 1060 something, so it's like way old, the setting, but like their speech, the way their dialogue is very like archaic, that type of medieval archaic, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. But so I don't know if this is going to be the one I pick. Like, I am interested in it because there also seems like there's a little bit of like a paranormal element where like she is a witch and there's a curse, and I'm intrigued with this. I'm intrigued with this. I don't know if it's going to be the one I pick, but definitely could pick it up in the future. Like, I'm very curious about this. Okay. The next one is also a medieval one. We're going to read a chapter of The Marriage Prize. So this one is Rosamund Marshall was only a child when she was betrothed to legendary warrior knight Roger de Leyburn, but when Roger beholds the fair Rosamund, now blossomed into a lovely young woman, he is determined to possess her, to win her love, to make her want him as he wants her. Orphaned at a young age, Rosamund is the royal ward of Eleanor de Montfort, sister of King Henry III. Beautiful and proud, Rosamund is truly a marriage prize, but she is wary of love, fearful of fulfilling her betrothal to the dark and steely knight, unsettled by his powerful presence. Okay, so let us try a chapter of this. This book was published in 2001. And And so it has a prologue. And then how long is the first chapter? It's a long one. The first chapter is 19 pages, so I will read this and report back. I'm not really into this. I'm really not into this, like, pretty much at all. Yeah. So this is another medieval one set in the 1200s, I believe. And I just felt like this writing style specifically, even just the prologue in this, I was really having to like force myself to focus and pay attention because it was very, like, the wording was very dense, and I just am not feeling this right now. Like, honestly, so it's funny, I picked two of these that were medieval ones. This one I felt like was way more engaging right off the bat. In this one we met the hero right away, and he's like a really, like, supposedly like a devil of a man, like rides a big black horse, and he's just like, everyone's afraid of him, and the heroine has like a lot of determination and a lot of like spark and an iron will, all right off the bat, like in the first chapter, and then you have the idea of the whole curse in there, and I thought it was really interesting. Like, honestly, I felt like if I were to pit these two based on the first chapter, this one was much more readable. I don't think this is bad. I still want to read her for sure, but the reading mood that I'm in, like, I'm not in the mood to read this. This isn't what I'm looking for right now. I don't think it's bad. I really want to read her. I feel like it was just maybe a slow going first chapter and it didn't hook me right away, and that's really what I was looking for, was something that hooked me right away and that I really wanted to read. So I still feel like this is probably one of the most beautiful medieval stepbacks I've ever seen, but I'm just not feeling it right now. So far, this one is winning. So the next one I have to read is Dukes Prefer Blondes by Loretta Chase. I have a feeling I'm gonna like this one a lot. Bi-weekly marriage proposals from men who can't see beyond her admittedly breathtaking looks are starting to get on Lady Clara Fairfax's nerves. Desperate to be something more than ornamental. Yes, girl. She escapes to her favorite charity. When a child is in trouble, she turns to tall, dark, and annoying barrister Oliver Radford. Though he's unexpectedly found himself in line to inherit a dukedom, Radford's never been part of fashionable society, and the blonde beauty, though not entirely bereft of brains, isn't part of his plans. Not entirely bereft of brains. Oh boy. 10 points against you, Radford. But Clara overwhelms even his infallible logic, and when wedlock looms, all he can do is try not to lose his head over her. Interesting. So this book was published in 2016. Very new. So I'm gonna read the first chapter. Let's see how many pages it is. Hopefully it's short. I don't know, you guys. Like, I really hate long chapters. Are you like that too? I hate them. This one has a prologue. Like a 4-page prologue, and then chapter 1. Chapter 1 is 26 pages. It's a lot. Okay, I'll be back after I read this and take Cosmo out because he brought me his pig. You want a pig? Get it. I'll read this and let you know what I think. I love this book so much already. And I only read the prologue. The prologue was 8 pages, so I'm going to consider that the first chapter because I feel like I have read enough to judge whether or not I will enjoy this, and the answer to that is yes. This is witty, this is funny, this is charming, this is it. This is the one for me. This is the one I'm gonna read for this vlog. So I just have to share one thing about, so this actually, the prologue is when Oliver and Clara meet as children, and Oliver is 15, Clara is 9. And they have a really cute little interaction where he's just kind of persuading her to stay with him and go look at this kaleidoscope room because she wanted to follow her brother onto a boat. And it ends up that she punches a boy who's been teasing Oliver, and it's just so funny. And she calls the boy like kind of punched her too in the face. And I'm sorry if you think this is a spoiler, this is the prologue, but if this encourages you to read it, like, you have to. And she like gets a chipped tooth and she gets all mad about it, and she's like, it's just so good. So this was super enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. It was very witty, very funny. This is my first Loretta Chase, so I am very excited about this. Let's see, there was... Oh, this is good. This is the good one. I can tell this has that sort of banter, witty humor that is smart, and I like it a lot, so this is going to be the one I read for this reading vlog. Super into it. This one was also really interesting to me. Like, I would really like to do a medieval reading vlog, and I really want to pick this up too. So this was second place. I'm really interested in this. This definitely has moved up on my TBR. I want to get to it soon because I am much intrigued by this already. And then this one, I'm honestly pretty disappointed in this first chapter. It was just really slow and very wordy, and it skipped around perspectives within like the same scene without really giving you a lineation of when it was changing perspectives, and I find that a little hard to follow. I know that is a little more common in some of these older romances, but it seems like usually if they do that, it's usually only the hero and the heroine, and there were so many characters to keep track of, I couldn't. So I want to read this again. I'm not giving up on her for sure, if for no other reason than this beautiful step back. It's so pretty, right? Oh my gosh. But not today. So I'm not writing her off forever, but I'm not intrigued enough to read it right now. So this is definitely going to be I will probably put this in a medieval reading vlog if and when I do that. But these two, wow, wowzer, wowed by this one. Whew. And this one, very intrigued, very interested in this, like, very much so. So yeah. Okay, that's the intro to this vlog. I will come back with an update when I have read more in this to let you know what I think. But, spoiler alert, I think I'm gonna love it. I just have a feeling that I'm gonna love it. I just know it. So while we are here, let's rate the step back, because I didn't do that. Okay, here is this gorgeous... It's so great. I love it so much. So, on a scale of 1 to 5, what do we rate this as? Let's see. So, hand placement, chef's kiss, chemistry, the almost kiss, like going in for a kiss. Yes! Her dress, like the faded, even the faded like wallpaper pattern. I give this a 5. The step back rating gets a 5 out of 5 stars. This is everything I want in a step back. It's very beautiful. I love it. I love it very, very much. So let's see if the book gets a 5 too. Check in with you later. Well, I have an update for you on Dukes Prefer Blondes. So I am on chapter 8, this far into it. And when I read the prologue to this, I was positive I was going to love this. I felt like the writing style was so good. She had such good banter, such great chemistry between the characters, even though they were like really young. I thought this was going to be so good. And then I've been reading it, and I don't know how I feel about it right now, honestly. So I've been listening to it on audio because I have the audio on Scribd, and I don't really love either of the characters. So we have Clara, so the basic premise of this book is Clara is very, very beautiful. She's been getting a lot of marriage proposals, and she's kind of tired of it because she wants to be loved for more than just how beautiful she is. And then we have Radford, who is, he's going to be a duke. He's not a duke yet. He's very, very intellectual, very smart. He is not looking for a wife. Honestly, like, I've read this, and I don't know that I really know what's happening here, other than I feel like Clara is very, so like here's the thing. Here's the thing. So I don't feel like the issues of Clara really wanting to be like a real independent woman and love for her mind and rather than her looks, like I don't feel like that's handled as subtly as I would like. I feel like it's kind of thrown in your face a lot. And Clara is a little bit unlikable just because she's kind of a brat, you know, like she's got a lot of money, she's got all these men who just want her and think she's so beautiful and so lovely, and I'm just sort of like, I don't know. I wonder, when was this published? It's been a while since I did my opening clips. This was published in 2016. That surprises me because it definitely reads a little older. To me, it does. But, and then Radford is honestly kind of unlikable too because he's so arrogant about how smart he is and how intellectual he is. And I just feel like those concepts of, you know, what women can do and what they can't do are talked about so often that's kind of hitting you over the head with it. And I love that concept. You know I love that. I love the concept of women really reaching outside of those societal norms where they've been shoved into and striving for the life that they want instead of what society wants them to do. You know how I feel about that. I love a good feminist historical romance. But at this point I just sort of feel like the plot is very slow. They're really not doing much at all, and their interaction is, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. So, slightly disappointed at that because that prologue just really hooked me and I really felt like I am going to love this. And then I'm just sort of like, I don't know how I feel about it anymore. So I'm going to keep listening to the audiobook today and hopefully get further into it. I don't think it should take me too long to read, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like, so I looked on Goodreads. Some of my friends gave this pretty low reviews. Some of my friends gave this pretty high reviews. I'm just kind of curious to know where I'm going to fit in with that. Like, I definitely feel like the writing style of Loretta Chase, this is my first Loretta Chase, is good. I really like it. It's something that I would really enjoy, but for some reason, it's just really not pulling me in. And I don't know why. Other than the plot is super slow and their interaction together, like they've kissed a few times, but I just don't feel it, you know, like I don't feel anything about them. I'll update you when I read some more.
Oh, look at the chin scratches.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back. So, I just barely finished Dukes Prefer Blondes by Loretta Chase, and I am conflicted. I feel like this, so I gave this a 3 stars, a 3-star rating, maybe 3.5 stars. There are a lot of things to like about this book, and I know this is the 4th in the series, but I really don't feel like you need to read the other books first, other than you probably do see some characters show up in here. But, so basically the plot is really pretty complex. Like, they do, I don't know if that's the right word. They're kind of doing a bunch of stuff, but also they're not. Does that make any sense? Like, so for the first probably half of the book, it's basically just Clara and Raven, who are, Raven is the hero, Raven Radford. They are basically just sort of like circling each other and sparring, like, you know, like bantery, sparry type of comments towards one another. And they're trying to find a missing child, an orphan. Clara wants to find that orphan. And then it ends up to be like they also end up angering a gang boss, and so they try and like get revenge on them. They end up getting married pretty early on in the book too. And so I don't necessarily mind that in historical, but it really did seem like a lot of the romantic tension at that point sort of evaporated. And I don't feel like there was a lot of romantic tension to this. I know that a lot of people love this book specifically for the banter, and I'm going to talk about that here right now, because I really wasn't a fan of it. And let me tell you why. So Raven is highly intellectual, very, very smart, and he's very arrogant about that. Clara is also a very smart woman, and she's very, like one of the things in this book is she wants to be known for her mind and not just her looks. And so, like, she definitely holds up against him, but he, in his comments to her, like, he's so condescending that it just really irritated me. And she spars right back with him, but to me, that wasn't a fun type of banter. It just seemed like he was honestly very arrogant and very condescending towards her, specifically because she's a woman. And like he makes comments several times about, and he's joking, kind of joking, right? And that's the thing that I just can't get behind, because yeah, he's joking, but also this was a truth that was understood at that time. Like, this is how people thought about women, that they didn't have intelligence, that their brains were really small, or they weren't able to process complex thoughts. Like, that was a very common thought to have at that time. And so he kind of throws barbs like that at her, and she is right back there bantering back with him. But it just really left a bad taste in my mouth, because it just seemed like every single barb that he threw about that specifically, you knew that there was truth in that, and that he kind of believed that. And it just reminded me of someone who, and you know how sensitive that Claire is about that, and so it reminded me of someone who picks something about someone that you know they're sensitive about, and you tease them about that, but you do it in a way that's kind of like not necessarily mean, but also you're drawing attention to something that you know bothers them. And I just had a really hard time getting behind him as a hero. I just didn't really care for him much at all. Now by the end, that changes, and by the end you see he like, there's this really wonderful scene where he gives her time to tell her thoughts and to like solve almost part of the mystery, and he gives her the chance to speak like she's an equal. And I loved that, so that's why I'm sort of like tempted to give it a 3.5 instead of a 3, but for the majority of the book, he doesn't do that. And I just didn't, so I really didn't like him as a hero at all. Like, give me an alpha hero any day of the week, but like that protective alpha any day over an intellectual, arrogant, condescending man. Like, that's just, I just didn't love him as a hero. And because I didn't like him as a hero, I feel like I wasn't invested in their romance at all. I really didn't care about their relationship, and he just irritated me a lot. So I guess that's my biggest issue with it, is that I feel like he was just insufferable for me for so long of the book, that by the time he had his redemption and really listened to her and gave her space to talk and let her thoughts and opinions matter, that I was just like, oh, okay, but too little too late, like, I don't know. It was, so I did, but I will say that Loretta Chase, this was my first Loretta Chase. I know I've probably said that a million times. This vlog has been like months in the making for one book, because I've had other things I've needed to read. But I am really interested to read more from Loretta Chase, because I would really love to see how she handles that banter with a different type of hero. This just is a hero that I just don't like. I just don't like him at all. And I did like Clara, but she also, especially in the beginning, like the first third or the first half of the book, it was kind of not very fun to read, which is so sad, because that prologue was honestly fantastic. One of the best prologues I've ever read. I was instantly into these characters, but they were children then, and there's such a big time jump between when you get to their actual life that the people they were as kids is like unrecognizable in their character, for the most part. So yeah, this was honestly a little bit disappointing to me. I had very high expectations, just because I know, I had high expectations because I know Loretta Chase is so loved. I know this series is so well loved. This is like the Dressmaker series, I believe. And I've heard from several people that I know that really like this book a lot. But then the thing that really gave me high expectations was that prologue, because it was honestly just so good. But then the rest of the book was such a step down from that, that it was a little disappointing for me. So that is my review, basically. I feel like I think that's my biggest point, is that I did not like the hero, and so I really wasn't rooting for them to be together. So the romance overall was just not necessarily something that I really liked. So yeah, this was a bit disappointing. And now I'm curious to know what that Elizabeth Lowell book would have been like. I wonder if I would have liked that better. I'm so curious to know about that. I'll have to read that one next sometime in another video just to see what I thought of that. So yeah, this is definitely 3.5. I think that if you really like a lot of banter, you will probably like this. The banter, like I was talking about for me, felt slightly malicious and not necessarily the fun type of banter that I really like. And I say that slightly malicious, like I'm, like, you know, like he's just kind of trying to throw in barbs of something that he knows that she's sensitive about. But I don't believe he's doing it in a mean way or a, you know, anything to really make her feel bad, but he's still like using that, and I'm just like, I don't like that, you know? I feel like the plot was a little slow too at the beginning, but then it picks up, and the end was really cute. I really liked the ending of this. I think that the hero Raven gets redeemed, and I really liked him, and yeah, it was fun. I would recommend this. I mean, a 3-star read is a book that I recommend, right? It just depends on things that you like. So if the things that I've said bothered me will bother you, then probably skip this one. But if you would be okay with that, if you really like two very intelligent love interests that kind of mentally and verbally spar with one another the whole time, then you might really enjoy this. I think it's a really clever book, and I think that it's really well written, but it just wasn't giving me what I wanted in the romance department. So yeah, that's my review. So Stepback, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. The book itself, I give a 3 out of 5 stars. So this was a really fun video. I had a really fun time trying the chapters out of each of those, and I would love to do that again. I think that actually may be how I choose my next book for this vlog series. I know I didn't really do much vlogging, it's mostly me talking about the book, but I do have a drink here, in case you were wondering. Anyway, it was good. It was decent. It was a 3-star read. I liked it. I liked it enough to check out more by this author. But yeah, the Stepback gets a higher rating than the actual book does. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.